come to clinic, and she had diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, high cholesterol, and so I said to her, I guess you're really happy I got you off all those medicines. She goes, I still take the same number of pills, but they're all supplements now instead of the...
That's true. I also used to have sleep apnea, which I no longer have. So
That's pretty cool. Okay, so we got confused about the Tums a lot. Why are we taking Tums? And I can tell you how many times patients come back to clinic and they say, oh yeah, I'm taking the Tums, I'm taking the calcium citrate tablets. I go, but no, I said take Tums. And, oh, I know, but I'm taking the calcium citrate. You go, but that's not what I said. He said, well, I know, but I'm taking the calcium citrate. I go, but I don't want you to take that. So let me see if I can explain the Tums to you. 3 reasons. 1, remember the number 1 complication we have is gastritis or an upset stomach or an ulcer. Okay? So Tums, in contrast to calcium citrate pills, are an antacid. Yeah. Calcium citrate pills are not an antacid. Tums are. So take Tums. Second thing is, one of the long-term risks of the surgery is getting soft bones or osteoporosis. That's the low, weak, thin bones. Now, that's not just for our patients, but that's true throughout the United States. That's why you see the commercials with Sally Fields, you know, I want to live my life with Boniva. And so it's a common problem. And some extra supplemental oral calcium will help with that, along with your multivitamin where you take extra vitamin D. So we encourage you to do that, to take the Tums because it has supplemental calcium. And now I'm going to tell you a complex and subtle story of why Tums are a good choice to help protect you from calcium kidney stones. All right? Kidney stones are pretty common in the United States. They're more common in the kind of mid portion of the United States. It's actually called the Stone Belt. Almost all stones in the United States are calcium oxalate stones. That is, they're a combination, like sodium chloride, of calcium and a chemical called oxalate. Oxalate is a chemical that's very common in fairly high levels in foods like chocolate, spinach, and some other things. When you eat those things, the oxalate gets absorbed from the gut and peed out in the urine because your body can't metabolize the oxalate. And when there's a lot of oxalate in the urine and a lot of calcium in the urine, they form kidney stones. And I can tell you like a friend, you do not want a kidney stone. Ouch. I've had them. You don't want them. For many years, people said, oh, gee, calcium in the urine is bad. You should eat a low calcium diet. And that has been shown not to be true. Actually, you want a little bit extra calcium in your diet. Why? Because if you put extra calcium in the gut, it can bind the oxalate in the gut before it gets absorbed and goes out in the urine. So now, some extra oral calcium in the gut, in the diet, is a good idea. Now, calcium carbonate in Tums is less well absorbed from the gut than calcium citrate, or Citracal. So some people argue Citracal, or calcium citrate, is better for protecting against kidney stones. But in fact, because the calcium's absorbed better in the calcium citrate, the calcium oxalate is more likely to form when you absorb less of the calcium, so Tums is a better choice. Kind of complicated? Okay, got it. So, take your Tums. Why? Antacid, number 1. 2, good for your bones. 3, the calcium in the Tums binds to oxalate in the spinach and the chocolate to help protect against the absorption of oxalate and the formation of calcium kidney stones.
And it's not Rolaids. You don't like the Rolaids?
I think Rolaids is the same as Tums.
Okay. So
Calcium carbonate.
I know at one time you told me